I've seen a lot of ecchi anime. Like, way too much. Probably more than what is healthy in hindsight. And because of this, I've seen all the tropes. The lucky perverts, the chocolates with alcohol in them, and a ton of fan service, because that's what the genre is all about. But this has gotten a little boring over the years. I want something different. No, not another genre. I still like ecchi, don't get me wrong. I just want something that I haven't seen before. And I got my wish, because there is one series that does ecchi like no other series before it. This is Ashige Shoujo Komura-san. The series opens with our protagonist Tsukinaga at the shoe lockers, and there he sees a transfer student. He then watches as she grabs her indoor shoes with her bare feet. Huh. Weird. Anyway, the girl is then introduced in front of Tsukinaga's class. She then writes her name on the board with her feet, and we learn her name is Komura Komura. Komura does everything with her feet because her family is part of an acrobatics troupe that specializes in feet. As the two are cleaning the classroom together, some upperclassmen come in to bully Komura for using her feet for everything, but Tsukinaga defends Komura and runs off with her. As the two are running through the hallway, though, the two trip and they tumble down the stairs. And at the bottom, Komura's foot has landed inside Tsukinaga's mouth. And after Tsukinaga apologizes, Komura asks him to marry her. So, you've probably guessed it, but this is a foot fetish manga. The primary fan service has to do with feet. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still traditional fan service moments. I mean, Komura isn't exactly lacking in some areas, but the manga is mostly feet. The manga was written and drawn by Nomumi Haiba. It was originally published in Weekly Shonen Champion, and it was published from December 2018 to February of 2020. The manga only has 57 chapters with 10 pages per chapter, so it was fairly short-lived, which makes sense because there are a few problems, and I think the best way to highlight them is by talking about the characters. Komura is the main waifu of the story. She is a manic pixie dream girl type character. Since she is a foot acrobat and this manga is what it is, she uses her feet for everything. She eats with her feet, cooks with her feet, and even writes with her feet. This is ridiculous and highly unrealistic. I don't care how skilled you are with your feet, there is no way you can write on a chalkboard like Komura did in the beginning. In fact, why don't I prove it? Alright, here's the money shot right here. You guys ready for this? Foot reveal. Bam, there we go. Now, logic would dictate we're gonna want to wedge this right in between what would be the index toe and the middle toe. Get some space there. You know what? That's actually kind of snug, and then we're gonna get my foot up there, and then we're gonna go. The pressure is not going. Now I'm trying to go with my right foot here, because again, logic would dictate. I'm right-handed. All right, cramp it up a little bit. I got some stuff down. We're doing something. So maybe this isn't as impossible, but then again, Komura had a little bit better penmanship than I did. Like that shot right there? Is that doing it for you? That was actually a pretty good exercise. Why is this going so well? Holy moly. If I can remember how to spell. I need a break. My thigh's cramping up. The curves are what's hard. Don't ask about capitalization. There we go! Alright. There we go. That was a lot easier than I expected. The penmanship isn't there, but honestly, that's about as clean as I normally write, but look at that right there. You can read it. It says subscribe, and that's what you should do. Back to the video. Komura is the main source of fan service in the series, showing off her feet constantly. There are scenes where she is doing simple actions with her feet, scenes where she is doing impossible actions with her feet, scenes where she is doing gross stuff with her feet, and way too many scenes where her feet are super sweaty. Man, feet and sweat? This author is a freak. But Komura doesn't just exist for fan service. She also provides a lot of humor in her dialogue. The feet puns can be stupid, but they still make me chuckle. Komura also does her job as a main girl by bringing up the main boy Tsukinaga.
Tsukinaga suffers from bland protag syndrome, but Komura is able to keep the series interesting with her quirky personality and her humor. Thus is the plight of the manic pixie dream girl. Saki runs the lunch counter at the school, and she is a businesswoman of the highest degree. She is always hustling somebody by trying to get them to work for her. Her main bit is that she always offers pictures of herself as payment for someone working for her. She at least gives you an option of what picture you want, though. Uritsu has a ponytail and is a member of the Kendo Club as well as head of the Public Morals Committee. Her main role in the story is to yell at the two main characters if they do anything too inappropriate. Man, what a buzzkill. Next is Komura's mom, or as I like to call her, Komamura. Komamura is just like Saki and Kuritsu. She exists for one bit and one bit only. She has the typical ara energy of any hot mom in an ecchi series, so she isn't that memorable in the grand scheme of things.
As you can see, the characters, aside from Komura, are all very one-note. But there is one character, while not being super fleshed out, is very important to the story.
The character in question is Lulu. Lulu is a dancer who is obsessed with being the best at everything. She was the darling of the entire school until Komura showed up, mesmerizing everyone with her feat. Lulu swears that she will beat Komura at her own game, and she even starts to make advances towards Tsukinaga. Her character is very simple, and we don't get much reason as to why she is obsessed with being the best, but she adds conflict which this series desperately needed. The best part of the story is definitely the sports festival, where Lulu battles Komura in the cavalry battle. In the lead up to this arc, we see how hard Lulu and Tsukinaga are training. Lulu has an insane workout schedule that leaves zero room for sleep, and you can see her ambition. Even if it is played for laughs, you can still see how much she wants to be the best. This also pushes Komura to train too, and she runs off to have a bath scene, training arc with her master, who is barely a character. The ending of the cavalry battle sees Lulu and Komura gain an equal respect for each other as they fall at the same time. The sports festival is the only thing I can describe as an arc in this series. Before Lulu's introduction, there isn't a story at all. Chapters will typically start with Tsukinaga walking around town until he bumps into Komura, and then shenanigans will ensue. These chapters can be funny, but it makes the series seem like a gag manga. But once we get conflict, the story picks up a little bit. Not much, but a little.
The story is lackluster, but this is an ecchi series, so it makes up for the lack of story with fan service. But it's a specific type of fan service. I appreciate this manga for giving me something different, but it does nothing for me because I don't have the specific fetish that it's catering towards.
For example, let's look at chapters 171 through 173 of 100 Girlfriends. Chapter 171 is titled the Stacked Woman Ponytail Knit Sweater Combo chapter. Now, we all know that I love ponytails and I love a good sweater, so this chapter was super exciting for me. But because this chapter gave me everything that I wanted, I wasn't as excited about the next two chapters, which were the Slender Lady Pigtails Pajama Combo chapter and the Small Girl Hair Bun Overalls Combo chapter. I enjoyed those chapters, but more for the novelty of them. But the Ponytail chapter, I could read 100 chapters of just that. So with Komura, since I'm not personally into the feet stuff, when these moments happen, I can chuckle and laugh at how ridiculous they are, but they aren't providing the same fan service as a traditional fan service moment would. Which is why this series probably didn't last very long. It was just too niche. But there are positives to the series. The anatomy is actually really well drawn. There are a ton of dynamic poses because Komura is an acrobat. In fact, I would love to find out how the artist found reference for some of these poses. And I think the final chapter is really sweet and really wholesome. The ending sees Komura-san noticed by the world because of her amazing skills, and a big shot from America scouts her to join his circus and travel all over the world. She's a little apprehensive about going, but Tsukinaga encourages her and she sets off. Right before Komura is driven off, she tells Tsukinaga that she wants him to give her the answer to her proposal from the beginning of the series when she becomes the world's greatest with her footwork. In the final chapter, we see a time skip to Komura being back in Japan, and Tsukinaga goes to see Komura perform, and in the middle of the performance, Komura flings herself at Tsukinaga, asking him to marry her. In response, he grabs her foot, kisses it, and says, "Yes, gladly."
The ending is sweet, and overall the manga can be pretty funny at times. But this isn't a good series. There's a lack of story and nothing that can actually draw you in other than fan service. But the fan service that it does have is for a specific audience. So if you want to check this out, go ahead just to see how over the top it is. But this isn't a manga you're gonna want to revisit. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss any notifications. And with that, sayonara.